Hello, buddy. Good evening and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your... Well, I'm rubbing my hands. It's Newcastle against Liverpool. I'm rubbing my hands. Rubbing my hands together for this. Can't wait. Game of the weekend. Monday Night Football. Carragher's not even got white trainers on. He's wearing grey. White ladder. Anyway, lovely stuff. Very excited about this one. Michael Hedman is saying 4-1 to Liverpool. I did go with the Liverpool win. I've not had a great weekend against Robbie. There's something about that Robbie Lyle. And, I'm sure if you check his bank account, he's got some relationship going on because he keeps getting jammy results. I want to beat him this year. But no, seriously, it's because I support United and he supports Arsenal. It's a guaranteed point every week that I'm not going to get because I have to say United win. He says Arsenal win and they win most weekends and United don't. So across the course of a season, that's a 30-point gap. I may as well get a bloody FFP charges because I've got a 30-point deduction straight away. Look, Carragher should be in pink trainers, says Cameron. Right, look, team news is out. Very excited about this. This is what we bloody love. We've got Liverpool-Arsenal on Sunday as well. And then there's an international break. Although I need it. And I actually think I deserve it. I need a bit of a break after this summer, but I'm very excited about this tonight. You never write Newcastle off at home, do you? You never write Newcastle off at home. Yes, I have. I think Newcastle are so good at home. What a game. Really can't wait. And some people are calling it the Isak derby. Well, he won't be involved. Don't think Liverpool... it's only game 2, isn't it? It's a long time since it's a long wait for Liverpool fans, that is, isn't it? They were the first game on the opening day, Friday, and then the last game on week 2. So they've had a big break, 10 days. Jim Davidson. But I think it's going to be really good. Newcastle at St James's Park are always full throttle. And Liverpool are the champions. Going through the teams then, let's go back to Newcastle as the home team. Home team tonight, it's the Newcastle. I've never been able to do the Geordie accent. Way aye, Jeff, man. So, lining up for Newcastle, you've got Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Byrne, Livramento, Bruno G, Tonali, Joel Linton, Alanga, Gordon and Barnes. The only problem with that team is Anthony Gordon playing up front. They are missing a striker. They don't have a striker on the bench. They've got Jacob Ramsey on the bench, their new signing, but they do not have a striker in any way, shape or form. Liverpool, Becker, Alisson, Kirkez, Van Dijk, Kanate, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Jones, Gakpo, Wirtz, Salah, Ekitike. Apparently Szoboszlai is playing at right back. What is this wizardry? Are you having a laugh? Gravenberch, Jones and Wirtz. McAllister injured? I didn't know McAllister wasn't. I'll tell you what, there's a few bits there, isn't there? Where's McAllister? He's home alone. So many references already and we've only been live for less than 5 minutes. Where is McAllister? He's having a kid. Having a kid? Come on. It's Newcastle, Liverpool. You can have a kid anytime. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, some people take that very seriously, actually. Apparently it's a big life moment. You can't knock him for that. He's awaiting a baby. He's in New York? Why is he in New York? Why can't he have it in Liverpool? I know a lot of footballers who've played football over the years, even when their wife's in labour. Yeah. Oh, he's in New York because of Home Alone 2. Yes. Very, very, very good. Very, very good. I like that. Well done. Check Twitter, Mark, says Brian. Mate, Brian, you know Twitter is one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. When you say check Twitter, there's probably 1 million tweets out there. What part of Twitter do you want me to check? Football Twitter? Nude Twitter? Political Twitter? Anime Twitter? What do you want me to check? What do you want me to check? Off topic, we talk a lot about not playing Bruno. at 8 and or dropping him, how do we... Sorry, let me just read this. Hanrahan says, off topic, we talk a lot about not playing Bruno at 8 and or dropping him. How do we make sure this reaches mainstream media? Hackerin, this is That's Football, Newcastle against Liverpool. I know you've come over from the United stand, but some of us come over here for a break. Like, That's Football, we've come over here for a break. I don't know how we get that message to Amrim. He's the manager. We don't get the message to Amrim. Right, we're about ready to start here. Please do share the video, smash a like and subscribe. Tomorrow, we've got our Bundesliga highlight show coming out at 4:30. All the goals in a groundbreaking way. We've got Bundesliga rights on here now, and our weekly Bundesliga highlights show drops tomorrow. Think Gazetta football from the 90s, because that's how we're covering it. It will be UK and Ireland only. So if you want to watch those highlights, someone in the chat might tell you how to do it. But we only have the rights in UK and Ireland. So we have got a game on Friday night as well. But I've been editing and working on those highlights today. There are some absolute bangers and there are some really good stories to tell. And we've got some really interactive stuff for you to do. So very excited for that to drop tomorrow. But this game has started and I have messed up the timer. So I'm just trying to fix it here. This will be fast-paced. 5, 6, 7, 8. I sound like a member of Steps. Been at college and I've felt super homesick away from home. Thankfully, That's Football and especially United Stand have all helped me. You know what, Charlie? I think that's the brilliance of this community. No matter whether you've had a bad day, you're away from home, you know, your cat's died, you can come on here and feel part of something. Alexi McAllister's brother is called Kevin and he played for Union St. Galice, says Luke Styles. Bit of trivia there. Big shout out to Esther. Loves you and United, says JK Worthing. Early cross from a corner for Newcastle, headed away. I think there are vulnerabilities to Liverpool, you know. I know you still Amrim in, but still Amrim in. Yeah, what are you on about? Still Amrim in. You know, I'm still Amrim in. Still Amrim in. We drew yesterday and it's 2 games into the season. Still Amrim in, like I'm bloody out there weird. I'm losing confidence, says Mitesh. Imagine 4-3-3 with our squad. Yeah, Mitish, imagine 4-3-3. The same 4-3-3 that Ten Hag got sacked with. Yeah, please, let's play a 4-3-3. I'm not talking about United. Shut up. Shut up, Goldbridge. We're not talking about United. What happened with the Friday nighter, Mark, says Connor. Don't know what that means. Are you going to call Alex Crook for a fight, says Bob. Can we just ban this name? I think it's banned on United Stand. I've got no interest in anything to do with that channel or anybody on it because they're just desperate for interaction. I'm allowed to have an opinion. I don't care about their opinion. It's as simple as that. So all the personal stuff or whatever, jog on. I don't tweet. I don't mention anything. I'm not going to mention anything. Mainu didn't ask to leave. End of story. If people want to keep throwing darts at dartboards and trying to hit the bullseye, that's fine. But, you know, Mainu hasn't asked to leave. Man United don't want to sell him. Simple as that. Hashtag deal with it. Shreeman, that's the worst attempt to try and get me say something rude. This game will be feisty. And congratulations on the Bundesliga deal, says George. Yeah, highlights tomorrow. Really excited about it. I tell you what, Frankfurt looked brilliant. I think Frankfurt might be my favourite team now. Leverkusen lost. Need to get a Frankfurt kit. Score prediction: 2-1 Liverpool. Let's do poll actually. Result. I've got to get this going quick. Because if somebody scores, it changes it. Liverpool win. Yeah, I'm going for a Liverpool win. Mark, will this game get a bit feisty? Thank you very much, George. Appreciate that. Ben Jacobs says some news dropping from Saudi at 8 p.m. with UK. Well, it's 4 minutes past 8. No news. There's a lot of tackles going in here in the first few minutes. Yeah, Newcastle's problem today is going to be not having a forward, really. Can they get Anthony Gordon in? Obviously, last week against Villa, they struggled. This is the only place I can vent my frustration, says Mitish. Why were you being quiet? Just check my Twitter. I blame you lot. I don't want to get involved. I've been very reserved in my tweets. Just check my Twitter. That's why I was quiet. Just check out Mark Goldbridge. You lot made me do it. Like, you lot drew my attention to something I wasn't aware of. And now I've seen it. I've done it. Because the guy's not... He's talking out his arse. Is he now going to call Romano a liar? Can you talk about the tackle on Wirtz? This referee worries me. I'm looking at it. I don't actually, in fairness to Trippier, let's have a look at it from this angle. Nah, I don't think that's a bad tackle by Trippier. I don't think there's any intention in it. It looks bad and it's a bad connection, but I don't think there's any intention in my opinion. That was bad. Gravenberch on that's a bad tackle. That's a yellow card, surely. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of tackles going in. Yeah, that's a yellow card. They're right with that. We could get a red in this game. Was it last year we got a red? Last year with was it last year that Van Dijk got sent off and they won 2-1? Will this game matter as to whether Isak moves, says Nick? No. I mean, I think Isak leaving is dependent on the signing of strikers by Newcastle, who just seem to be allergic. Oh, God. I hope you've all had a good day anyway. It's bank holiday in the UK. It's been lovely here. Nice to get a bit of family time, but also spent a couple of hours doing the highlights for the Bundesliga tomorrow, which I'm really enjoying. Like, it's been a long time since I've really got into another league in depth, probably before COVID, actually. So, yeah. Mitesh, why is he trying to start a feud with you? Relevancy. You maybe should go and have a chat with Simon Jordan, because even he said that calling the new media YouTubers is just disingenuous because it's bitterness. Like, we're not YouTubers. We're the new media, and they hate it. That's why we've got Bundesliga rights. That's why we've got other stuff coming down the road that other people are going to lose their shit about. It's just jealousy. And the thing is, I don't profess to have sources. When I get told something, I tell people. That's just how it works. But I don't make it up. This is the only place I can vent my frustrations. I think we're going to get a red card in this game. As I said. Do I think Isak will sign for Liverpool? Yes. And when it happens, I want people to go back. Well, I don't want you to do it. It's a waste of your time. But go back to what we were talking about in June. I always felt that Isak was going to sign for Newcastle. And the only reason he hasn't signed for Newcastle is because they can't sign a striker. It's almost like everybody's built a fire, but no one will light the match. And when someone lights the match, there's a pathway to all the fires. You know, Lord of the Rings, where someone lights a fire and then someone sees it a few miles away and they light one and then it just sends it all off. That's how it works. Rod Ross says, new media, Billy Bullshitter. Mate, you're literally part of it. You're watching it. Welcome to the new media. Think Isak will sign even without a replacement? No, well, that's the problem, Ross. It's whether Newcastle can sign a striker or two. They've had a bid today rejected for Strand Larsen of Wolves for 50 million quid. Wizzer, I think, will happen. Long throw into the box. Dealt with. Kirkes gets it again. He'll put it into the back post. Decent cross. Headed again. Away. Anthony Gordon. I tell you what, I'm loving this game. I'm absolutely loving the speed of it. Ref's a bit stop-start, though. Now a bit more space. That's got to go through to Alanga. It's a lovely ball, but that's sweeper keeping by Allison. Ash says, I feel like Newcastle should just go for Watkins. I think people are put off by Watkins because of his age, but look at Harry Kane. How old was Harry Kane when he went to Bayern? Which website am I using? I don't use a website. That's a lovely play. Out wide to Ekatike. Plays it in first time to Gakpo. Good defending. Trippier. That's a bad pass out from the back. Wirtz. He'll shoot from there. Pope puts it out. Don't know what Newcastle are doing. Why do centre-backs get the ball in a position where they can hit the halfway line and go, I know what I'll do. I'll pass out from the back. Botman, Prattman. Hello, good to be back, says Kieran. Hope you're doing well, Kieran. Congratulations on getting the rights to the Bundesliga. It's amazing what you built with this community. Yeah, I'm not even going to call it a highlight show. Our Bundesliga review show, which is going to be each week. And we'll have all the goals and some stuff for you to get involved in. That's out tomorrow evening at about 5 p.m. UK time. It will be UK and Ireland only. So if you want to find a way of watching that, some people in the chat have figured it out because we had a lot of people watching the UK stream on Friday. All the dumbasses who kept saying United will finish top four, realising how right Mark was. Crook and his crooks can take a lesson about new journalism. Who said we were going to finish top four, though, Mrs. Stone? I just don't really understand why anybody would have said that. I like the optimism, but there's a sense of realism. Move Maniac says, I have a feeling Liverpool won't sign Isak for some reason. What do you think Newcastle and Isak will do if that happens? I mean, football's fickle, mate. football is fickle. If he came back and said, I love Newcastle and signed a new contract, Newcastle fans would welcome him back because he's a good player. But I think that I don't know whether he will at the end of the day. I don't know whether he will. Newcastle are happy to sell in the circumstances, but they need to buy. And I think there's a lot of time to get that done. Personal terms will be done with Wizza to Newcastle. Personal terms will be done with Isak to Liverpool. So that's an element of speed. It's that second striker for Newcastle. Newcastle can't carry on like this as well. You know, first 3 games of the season without a striker. Imagine if they don't score a goal. Who've Newcastle got at the weekend? I haven't even looked at the weekend fixtures yet. I will tell you what I'm doing. Chelsea Fulham at 12:30. We'll probably do that. I'm not doing Leeds Newcastle at 5:30. Obviously Liverpool Arsenal on Sunday at 4:30. I tell you what, Alanga's done really well to get that back. And it was a good cutback, and that's where you want a striker again. Now it's Anthony Gordon into the box. He's still got it. That's not a foul. That's not a foul! He jumps right in front of Szoboszlai. Mate, that's not a foul. I don't think this is a foul at all. I think it's clever by Anthony Gordon, but... well, maybe he did. From that angle, it looks more like a foul. This is why I like to see replays. This is a good opportunity for Newcastle to whip across into the back post. They've got the height here. You've got people like Dan Burn. Villa against Crystal Palace at 7 o'clock next Sunday. Get out. Who's watching that? That'll be a shit game. In fact, now I've said that, put it in your calendar. It'll be an 8-goal thriller. Aston Villa Palace at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Tell me why. That's all I want to know. Tell me why. I just want to know. What did you have for dinner today, Mitesh? Well, it was Bank Holiday Monday and it was a hot day. So I said, I'm going down Sainsbury's and I'm going to get some burgers and baps. And we had burgers and baps. We had turkey burgers and beef burgers and lovely salad. And I had... these referees stop-start games so much. I watched that Bundesliga game on Friday and I'm looking forward to watching Friday's one this week. It might have been a one-off. But the referee just let the game go and go and go. And in the Premier League, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I think that's what Van Dijk's saying. It's like stop, start all the time. It's not just bad officiating in the Premier League, you know. I've noticed this, having watched the Bundesliga on Friday. We're really bad at not letting games flow in this country. What do you think about Hincapi to Arsenal news, says Patchy? I thought it was Spurs. He's a fullback, isn't he? Ben Jacobs update from Saudi. Let me have a look. Bruno is aware of Al Ittihad's interest. They have been directly approached. However, another free kick here. Let me read this out to you. Please do share the video if you're watching it. We've got nearly 16,000 already. Bruno Fernandes, aware of Al Ittihad's interest. Man United remain calm about the situation and are yet to receive any contact. No club-to-club is expected unless Bruno changes his mind about Saudi. He was firm with Al Hilal and Al Nazir that he wanted to stay another year. Al Ittihad also need a sale before considering a bid. So basically, I covered this off on the United stand yesterday and everything I said was spot on. There was a story yesterday, I think it came in from that indicator, that a bid had gone in and the United had told Bruno it was up to him. A bid hasn't gone in. And Man United haven't told Bruno it's up to him. The ref is ruining this game. Doing it again now, look. It's just another bloody Jobsworth. Another Ollie Murs. All about him. Just another I want to be centre of attention. Just let the bloody game flow. People don't buy season tickets and Sky subscriptions to watch a prat in yellow stopping the game every chance he can. I've seen more of this referee than I've seen Mo Salah. Good cross. Alisson gets hold of it. Over control and don't let the game flow. Let them play, says Evan. You know what? If I was a referee, I'd basically say to both captains, look, I want to get the game flowing. So if I let a shoulder barge go for you, I'm going to let it go for you. If it's a bad tackle, obviously I'm going to pull up. But the reality is I want the game to flow. He's a control freak, says Sam. Evening, Mark. Is your thing on Bundesliga highlights a live reaction show or just a video? It's highlights. It's a review show, mate. So I go through every single game, show you the goals, show you the highlights. We've got a bit of a competition, bit of analysis. I can put it as a premiere, but it can't be a live show. Well, it could be. I can't do it as a live show because it's be too complicated, but I can do it as a premiere if you want, where there's a live chat. Over control, don't let the game flow, says Evan. Newcastle probably on top here at the moment. They are at home though. Livramento. Nice ball into Gordon. He's got an overlap. It's a lovely ball to Trippier. He puts the cross in first time. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great cross. Oh, Ekatike got the ball stuck under his feet. Otherwise, he was away. And that's a bad pass into Bruno G. Very good pace to this game. That's why I want to see it flow. Newcastle are class. Your bias is annoying. Look, if we were watching Man City, I'd understand your point. Where's my bias against Newcastle? Why would I be biased? Mate, you're a fool. You're a goddamn fool. Why would I be biased against Newcastle? I'm a Man United fan. I don't want Liverpool to win. You're a fool. You're an absolute fool. You spent $2 for that. How long's Frimpong out for? $16,600 watching. Thanks, everyone. Please do share the video, get involved. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. That's football, the home of football now. Lots going on. Very excited. Got some big stuff coming up for you. We're only 10 subscribers away from 409,000 subscribers, by the way. Please do get involved. What's your next watch-along? I think it's Friday night, Bundesliga, to be honest, on here. I've got United on Wednesday against Grimsby. I mean, that's what football's all about. Can't wait for that. Actually, we need the minutes. I actually am looking forward to that. We do need the minutes. We need competitive minutes. I mean, there is English Coca-Cola Cup action, Carabao Cup action tomorrow night. I mean, Bournemouth, Brentford. And we're live. No, there's nothing that takes my fancy there. Wednesday night, United Play Grimsby. Thursday night, Europa League. Friday night. Yeah, Friday night, German Bundesliga live on here. And then Saturday, as I said, Chelsea-Fulham, we'll do that. And then it's Man United-Burnley. Actually, I might not do Chelsea-Fulham because I've got Man United-Burnley at 3 o'clock. I might not do that. Sunday, Super Sunday, definitely Liverpool-Arsenal. Might do Brighton Man City. I quite fancy Man City losing. So whenever there's an opportunity for that, I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll be there. Could be another Man City in crisis. That's a foul by Konate. I'm surprised if he didn't get booked for that. Yeah. Get Roy Keane as a ref. He'll encourage some of these tackles, says Greg. Andy C has gifted a membership. Thank you, Andy. Just going to have a little bit of a stretch here. Are you going to do the Champions League draw on Thursday, says Ollie. What time is it? Lebert says the referee's been okay. Game needs a goal. I like games like this. I mean, how has Salah got all this space here? Up against Joel Linton, cuts inside. Nice pass, well intercepted by Livramento. It's going to be a foul here. You can smell a foul coming a mile off. Oh no, it's not going to. Oh, I've injured myself again. This is not a joke. I don't know what to do. Every time I try and come back, it gets strained. So fed up of it. Cheers for answering my first question, Mark, says Blake Thompson. Did I not answer it? Hypothetically, if Amrim left, who would you want? Not answering it, DA. Hypothetical nonsense. Hypothetical nonsense. Not interested. Cross into the box. Ooh, Gordon just over the bar. I tell you what, I'm absolutely convinced this new ball is hard to keep down. I've seen so many headers over the bar. And again, that's over the bar. And you'd expect him to get that on target. He's leaning back a little bit, to be fair. Dark horse overachievers of the season. I'm seeing Burnley in the top 10. You're pissed, Nicholas. Stop it. Do you like Anthony Gordon's hair, Mark? Says Raz. I don't think it would suit me. Would you take Man United winning the league, but you had to go 3 rounds with a polar bear? I'd be dead, mate, James. So no, I wouldn't get any benefit. As a United fan, it's hard to watch cohesive midfielders, says Lorinez. Here's Alanga. Good cross. Oh, what a cross by Alanga that is. Again, if Newcastle had a striker, it's 2-0. He's put 2 wonderful crosses into the box. Ref's hands look a bit oily. Let the game play, says Crispy. Blake Thompson. I can't see it. I've just been back. So Goldbridge, mate, it's not there. What takeaway should I get, says Fish. I'm stuffed from my burgers, so I can't give you any advice. I'm with Amrim. He sees players all day, and if he decides not to have Mainu, I'm fine. I like Mainu, but for me, the manager decides who plays. Thank you, Moose. You know, if I did a super chat and it hadn't been read, I wouldn't do another one saying you didn't read it. I'd put the same thing in because then you got more chance. I can't see it, Blake. Hero Creator says, notice you don't need the best players to win games. That's how less known clubs are becoming popular. Sancho should go to Newcastle, says Keel. It's not there, Blake. Sorry. I have looked. If you buy a bigger bed, you're left with more bedroom, but less bedroom. Thoughts? Callum. Alex. Whoever mentioned the oil up gets the freaks out. Why does Amorim not discipline Portuguese players, says Black Bear? Really good, intense game, almost as if the owners said before the game that the winner gets Isak, says Chris. Well, it'd be nice to think that, but actually I just think it's two stylistic clubs that like to play on the front foot. Newcastle love to play on the front foot at St James's Park, and Liverpool love to play on the front foot full stop. You know, you look at Arsenal Leeds on Saturday, you've got one team that's going to sit in, defence against attack. This is when I think football's at its best, when you get two teams that want to play. Blake says it was about Isak. You've been asked before, but do you think he'll end up at Liverpool by the end of the window? Keep up the good work. Thank you, Blake. I really genuinely couldn't find the original one. So with regards to Isak, I do think he'll end up at Liverpool. And I think it's Newcastle's inability to get a striker that's sort of holding it up. And look, the disappointing thing for Newcastle is, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd sort of be like going, like, are we purposely not getting a striker so that Isak's here after the international break? Because how many points are you going to drop in the first 3 games? Like Newcastle, you've got Champions League football. Tonali's broke away here. Van Dijk's going to come across. Plays it in. Alisson, very quick off his line. My man of the match so far is Alisson. He's been brilliant in that sweeper keeper role. But yeah, I sort of look at Newcastle and go, if you know Isak's going, why have you not got the strikers in? Because how many points could you drop not having a striker? Like, lovely play by Gakpo. I genuinely do think that Newcastle may have beaten Villa with a striker, and they'd certainly be 1-0 up here with a striker. Wirtz, Ekitike, Jones. That's a terrible pass. If you play on Friday night, does Bundesliga happen? If United play on Friday night, does Bundesliga happen, says Gareth. No. I mean, I'm not at liberty to expose what the deal is, and you know, game week 3, their fixtures don't get set like ours, so we don't know when and who's going to play what. But there is contingency if United play, yeah. I mean, effectively, we could do what others did and just play the footage with the commentary and know me. Jack says, I hope you and the family are well, and you too. Just a little something to say thank you for the amazing streams. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. You're all very welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Got nearly 20k watching. Well done, everyone. Game needs a goal. I was thinking about this today. Imagine if, like, Newcastle won this, which they could do, and then Arsenal went to Anfield and won. Liverpool would have 3 points from 9. Man United could be ahead of them if we beat Burnley. It's just how mad things can go, isn't it? Here's Salah. Liverpool will score now. Szoboszlai. No, they won't. Yeah, it's. I think we're in for a very busy last week. The transfer window is shut, isn't it? It shuts early. Not now. God, people are panicked. What do you mean it's shut? No, in a week's time it will be shut. It doesn't close at 11 o'clock this year. It closes at 7 apparently. Which I do think... Oh my God, it's gone in. Gravenberch. It's gone in. I'm speechless on that. I mean, it's either one of the best goals of the season so far, or it's lucky. I mean, there's nothing Nick Pope can do. We said the game needed a goal. I did mean at the other end, but let's watch this back. Jones has got it into Gakpo. Gravenberch has got loads of space. They don't close him down quick enough. It's a good finish. It's actually unstoppable. He shoots from distance low, and it deflects off Shah right into the bottom corner off the post. I think it would have gone in anyway. You know what? I think it goes in anyway. I don't think Nick Pope is getting this. He ain't getting that anyway. Look that deflection. He ain't saving that anyway. The deflection takes it about half a metre from where it was going to go, and he wasn't going to get that. He wasn't going to save that. Newcastle should have closed him down quicker. That's a great goal, really. From your holding midfielder. Well, we've had a moment of... it's my fault. I said if Liverpool lost here and lost to Arsenal, they'd have 3 points from 9 and below United. And I think they heard me. But he's a fantastic player. I think... I don't know what went wrong with him in his move to Bayern. Because he was very good at Ajax. And you've got to put him in the top 10 midfielders in the world at the moment. Which I think we're always very insecure about doing with Premier League players, but he's very good. Very, very good. Very powerful, very intense, very good at tackling, very good at passing, can pop up with a goal. And Alexis McAllister. I've always said, in fairness, I always said it when I was on the podcast with Will, what Klopp did that summer was just remarkable. To go and buy... change a midfielder change a whole midfield in one summer. It was Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai. Yeah. Jason says Man United could do with a Joel Linton in midfield. We could do with a Tonali and a Bruno G as well. Well, we've got the goal the game needed. It did need a goal, not because it was a bad game, but because it's been a good game and it deserves not to be a 0-0. It's not 0-0 now. What did I say? 2-1 Liverpool. Good play by Bruno Guimaraes. Alisson again will sweep and keep that. Man United. Hi Mark. Thank you very much to Jack Rolls Aviation for your super chat. If United have done that one from Gareth. Simon Hooper is the ref. He's having a shocker, says Chris. What's your starting 11 of Premier? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's bad by Tonali that. Out to Elanga. I like the look of Elanga at Newcastle, you know. There's another good cross. I tell you what, Elanga has put in 3 crosses now that a striker gets on the end of. I feel bad for him. What's your starting 11 of Premier League, Mark? Would any Man United players get in, says Fish? What's this? Oh my God. I can't do ref cam. Don't put that on. It's like that bloody player cam on EAFC. It makes me get travel sick. My Premier League 11. It's really difficult right at the start of the season. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Alisson would definitely be my goalkeeper. I'd obviously put Mo Salah in there. Look at this ref cam bollocks again. I don't like. I think the youth love it. I don't like it. It makes me feel a bit sick. Do you think Liverpool Arsenal's a bit early? No, it kicks off at R4, you lazy shit. I know what you mean, really. I was just bringing a bit of banter. No, I know what you mean. Is it a bit early in the season? To which the answer is, of course it is. Of course it is. Justice says that camera's horrid. It makes me sick. You know what? I remember I bought the latest Resident Evil, and we did a late night stream, and I had to stop. I was ill for 2 days. It gave me motion sickness. There are certain things that, if you get it, you know what I'm on about. Motion sickness is a serious thing. Not it doesn't kill you, but it just makes you feel really ill. And that ref cam thing does it. Player cam on EAFC does as well. I get it on boats. Similar sort of thing, isn't it? Motion sickness. I don't know what it is. I think it's because the boat's moving in the waves. We've only got 400 away from 20,000 watching. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Absolute legends, as always. Please do share the video and subscribe. Well, the first half has absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Newcastle needs to be a bit careful here. Gakpo goes to Salah. Oh, what a goal that would have been. He can't believe it, Salah. He's put it right into the path of Curtis Jones. And he's look at this for a first time pass. And he's just not connected with it. He should have put his laces through that. He's tried to place it, hasn't he? Salah can't believe it. Can't believe it. You know, in a way, you know, if you want me to get tactical on your ass, this particular game, Liverpool have benefited from Isak being unsettled, because I think if Newcastle had Isak, it would be at least 1-1. He'd have got on the end of one of those Alanga crosses, definitely. Newcastle not having a striker is a real problem, because I think there's been some good service into the striker, but there's just no one to get on the end of it. I mean, Newcastle do not have a striker, by the way. You know, they don't have a striker on the bench. 60 frames per second, 60 FPS, which is frames per second, always makes my mum and dad sick, says Liam. Motion sickness from games comes from low FOV. I don't know what that is, the boy. Field of view. Rasmus would get goals at Newcastle, says angling for more. Daniel Taylor says Alanga puts the crosses in that United can't do at the moment. We can cross, but it's never got any height for a striker, says Daniel. Great show, Mark. I'm a red, but perfection comes from Tory. Looking forwards to finding it more about the Bundesliga, says Mark. Thank you, Mark. Shaz says, with Newcastle struggling to replace Isak and playing in the Champions League, will they struggle in the EPL? Well, I was going to say that. Chris says that's why Liverpool are champions, the Gravenberch goal. I was going to say that Dan Burns just got booked I was literally going to say that about Newcastle. The last time they were in the Champions League, it messed up their Premier League because they didn't have a squad for it. And the Champions League doesn't start yet, but if they were to lose today, 1 point from 6 for Newcastle, would be the same as what Man United got from 2 difficult starts to the season, 2 games difficult as well. So, you know, look at Spurs. They've got 6. I'd be a bit annoyed if I was a Newcastle fan that you haven't got a striker, because even if Isak stays, you still need another one. To have only one striker, Callum Wilson left at the start of the season. You're not, look, it's basically like what I said with United. Oh my God. What the hell's gone on here? Anthony Gordon has gone in on Van Dijk. It's a yellow. Kirkez has gone in on him. It's been a feisty game. The cameraman just missed this, so I haven't seen the replay. Gordon's going to get a yellow. Yeah, he gets a yellow. I need to see a replay. It looked dirty, Matthew McFadden says. That's a red. That's a red. I'm sorry. That's a red. He's nowhere near the ball, look. That is going to be a red. Unfortunately, I like Anthony Gordon, but that is... It's incredible that the referee has only given a yellow. It will be a red every day of the week. Yeah, he's going to get a red. And you know what? From Newcastle's point of view, if Anthony Gordon's playing on the wing... If Anthony Gordon's playing on the wing, he'd never be doing that. That is getting sent off. Reckless, out of control. Straight down his... Nah, he ain't surviving that. Takes his sock down. Mate, I don't want it to be a red. I want Newcastle to win. It's against Liverpool. He could have broken his leg. He could have easily broken his leg. And if that was against De Ligt, I'd be screaming for a red. It's got to go. You know, it's the most obvious red card ever. Unfortunately, it's going to change the game. Yeah. What's this talking to the fans stuff? Thankfully, Van Dijk's okay. And Anthony Gordon's gone. Not thankfully he's gone, but 82% say it's a red. Look, it's one of the reasons we do this channel. Like, I have bias as a fan of United, but I can't be blind. Like, it doesn't matter. The way I always look at things is if that was Bruno on Van Dijk, I know he's gone, and if that was on De Ligt, I want them gone. It's a red card every day of the week. And if VAR had got that wrong, we'd all be screaming and shouting. It's an open goal. And it's a shame because it changes the game. But Newcastle, really, you could argue that this comes down to the fact that they don't have a bloody striker. Alanga's put 3 really good crosses in. There's no striker. And now Gordon, as a striker, has got himself sent off. And Liverpool are in a fantastic position here now because they're 1-0 up against 10 men. Is there any vindication for it not being a red? not in a world where there's VAR. I mean, I've got to be honest. I don't know why the referee didn't get that. I don't know why he didn't see that. You know, it's like Matthew McFadden said it at one of our moderators. When I saw it in real time, I was like that. You just get a feeling, don't you? It's like Tarkovsky's in the Merseyside derby last year. The first time you see it, you just go, there's something not right there. It's got all the components. He's out of control. It's reckless. And he could have done real damage. I don't think it's definitely not deliberate. I think what it is, it's a crowd rouser. He's trying to win the ball in an aggressive way to get the crowd going, but it just doesn't touch the ball, does he? Lundershot, Van Dijk is a beast. I don't know how that didn't injure him. Yeah, Anthony Gordon will miss the next 3 games now as well. So Newcastle really do need a striker, says IKWQ. If Newcastle lose, should it be Howe out like Amorim? Well, they'd have 1 point from 6, yeah. You did say there'd be a red card, Scott. I did. You do get a feeling for a game, don't you? You do get the temperature. Andy C's just gifted 5 memberships. Newcastle now just need half time because... And it is half time. Well, it's a tough ask for Liverpool now because tough ask for Newcastle now because if it's 0-0 and you go down to 10 men, Liverpool have got to break you down. But when you're 1-0 down and you go down to 10 men, you're losing the game, and you've got to try and find a way to get back in the game. So it's a tough ask for them against the best team in England, a man down. Andy C, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. If Newcastle get a striker, are they expecting him to play every minute of every game due to them not having a backup, says Fraser? Look, you know what? Before we talk about the red card, let me just say that. We were talking about this before the red card. Newcastle's inability to get a striker in is really hurting them now. Whether Isak stays or goes, you should have a backup striker. You've started the season without a striker. It cost you against Villa, and it's cost you today. 3 wonderful crosses by Elanga that a striker could have got on the end off, and also the guy who's playing as striker has just been sent off. So you've got to look at culpability and say that Newcastle really cannot have any complaints. They've had all summer to bring a striker in and they haven't got one. And I think that's something you've got to look at because they're going to have to do something desperate now. They play on... When do they play? They're playing Saturday and they've got to go to Leeds, which will be a difficult game for them now. That'll be Ellen Road rocking. Will they have a striker in for that game? It frustrates the life out of me that Man United do this every season. You know, Man United's average points over the last 5 years from the first 3 games is under 4. 9 up for grabs, under 4. Why do teams go into the season not prepped? And Newcastle have done the same. Jacob says, Arsenal fan here. Everyone going on about sacking Amorim is a moron. Cunha is looking dangerous. When he gets his first goal, the goals will fly in. Thank you, Jacob. What went wrong with Elanga at United, says Manas? I think he needed game time, and he made the right choice leaving. Thoughts on Angry Dragons, says Cody? I don't really have any, mate. I don't really have any. Missed the first half, Mark. Who are the better side, says Eureka. Look, I think 1-0 to Liverpool is obviously the score. It's probably the right score. I think Newcastle have been threatening with no cutting edge because they don't have a forward. And the red card is justified, so it's probably about right, really. Newcastle made a mistake selling Chris Wood, says Luke. Newcastle's red was predictable, can't handle the emotion, says 2ATP. I think Anthony Gordon, I like Anthony Gordon, but he has been sent off before, hasn't he? He got sent off last year. Who did he get sent off against last year for a similar sort of thing? Ewan says, is there any plan for a That's Football live tour like you did with the United Stand? I think it would be awesome. We'd love to do it, Ewan. We would love to do it. Szoboszlai is man of the match contender, in my opinion, says Marcel. You look good today, very handsome, says Stephen. Oh, thank you, Stephen. I will let you buy me a drink. Do you think refs are being over-glorified, says Langford. I think they get too much talk. And that tackle had me worried for a second with Van Dijk and an ACL. Jay, I think on the red card, 85% of you say it's a red card. I'm going to close the poll because it's when it's over 80%, it's a landslide because you're always going to get rivals and stuff just saying no because of rivalry. It's a red card, and I think that you're absolutely correct. Anthony Gordon hasn't gone in to injure Van Dijk. He's gone in aggressively to try and get the crowd up and win a tackle. He could have broke his leg. He could have put him out for the season, and that's why it's a red card. And Anthony Gordon will watch that back. I know Anthony Gordon, and he will watch that back, and he will know it's a red card, and he'll be massively disappointed, and he will know it's a red card, and he will be horrified at the prospect that he could have, seriously injured a fellow professional. It was a moment of madness. I like players that are passionate, and we're all vulnerable to making mistakes. And he's paid the price, and it is a red card. Ozzy says Eddie Howe outright by Man United fans' logic. They want Amrim after 1 point from 6. Eddie Howe has the same. I'm going to tweet that. I'll tweet it for you, mate, on @MarkGoldbridge, and let's see what the reaction is. I'm struggling with copy and paste here, which is not like me. I'm getting slower at typing in my old age. If I'm doing this in 10 years' time, I'll be doing this. Hold on. There's a super chat. I can't read it. Eddie Howe outright. Some United fans' logic. They want Amrim out after 1 point from 6. Let's post it. Okay, coming back to the chat. Thoughts on can we, Liverpool, sign Isak by the end of the window? You know what? Back to the match in a moment. I want to just get the stats up on the screen. I'll answer the Isak question. Newcastle have mismanaged their summer transfer window. That's the nicest thing I could say. At no point have they been resolutely keeping Isak. It's very obvious that if they'd got Šeško or they'd got Ekatike or they'd got Pedro and Wizza, then Isak would be wearing red tonight. They've just not been able to do the business for whatever reason. They now find themselves a week from the window closing, 1 point from 6, and no strikers. That is a mismanagement of a transfer window. Now, I don't understand what's going on in Newcastle's boardroom. I understand there's been some changes, but they're in the Champions League. They're a well-supported club. They're a good side. And they've mismanaged this transfer window. With a week to go, could you keep Isak? You could, but you're keeping an unhappy player. That's very unfair on the player, and it's very unfair on Eddie Howe. They have to sell Isak. I don't think they were ever going to do it before this game, for obvious reasons. But it's not... Look, I moan about it with United, so I've got to be fair. I don't understand clubs that go into a Premier League season not prepared, because why do 9 points not matter? They do matter at the end of the season. 9 points will make a big difference at the end of the season. And Newcastle, Villa were poor last week. Newcastle would have beat them with a striker. And Alanga's put some good crosses in today. A striker might have got on the end of them. So, it's a poor. Yeah, I feel for Newcastle fans because I think they've, in some areas of the pitch they've done well, but I'm just looking at that there. Thoughts on done that, Andy C. Come on, Mark, do Chelsea Fulham, please, says Max. And Mark, my yardstick for comparison has been, would they give Casemiro a red? If yes, then it's a red, says NR13. Krista says, I was excited after Arsenal, but feeling down after Fulham. It's not about the result, but the way we played. Also, mainly Bruno Amorim situations, not positive, says Krishna. Thank you very much, Krishna. Hope you're doing well. What would you be saying to Gordon at half-time, Sully? What would I be saying? Well, look, I'm not... We all play football in a way, whether we're down the local park, whether we play decent standards as a kid, or, you know, Sunday football. Everybody plays football in a certain way. I always used to stick my foot in. It's always the way I used to play. I used to get a lot of yellow cards. I got a few red cards, mainly for petulant, stupid stuff like that. So I'm never going to be a hypocrite to a player. I would just say, you know, you've let yourself down and you've let the team down. And, you know, I don't want to see you doing that again this season. But yeah, you want players to play with passion, but there's no excuse for that, is there? Mark, one thing no one is mentioning anymore is that Liverpool offered them leeway to sign Ekitike for them to sell Isak to them. Says I don't know whether that happened, just picks. I don't know whether that happened. Szoboszlai looks like a proper fullback. His timing and defensive skills are impressive. I tell you what's impressive about Szoboszlai, Sifo, is he can play multiple positions. I mean, I see him as a 10 attacking midfielder. We saw him last week playing as a holding midfielder. He's now playing as a right back. Those sort of players are worth their weight in gold. Jonathan Blake with the super chat says, my girlfriend Parisa calls that a red. Is it? She's right. She's right, Jonathan. Imagine having your name sung and be clapped off the pitch when you've made a preposterous tackle and let your team down. Alison Becker says, well, no, I haven't got a problem with that. I remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tripping up a Newcastle player, funnily enough, in a one-on-one, and he got sent off for a professional foul, and he got applauded off as well. That's just supporting your team. I don't think Newcastle fans are going to be booing Anthony Gordon when he's, you know, one of their best players. I don't know why the referee needed VAR, by the way. I think he should have got that in real time. But let's not forget Unai Emery out as well. 1 point from 6, says Carlos. Gordon got an elbow into his face from Van Dijk last season, so this was a bit of a retaliation, says Alex. Back in the day, that would have been a yellow, says JB. Mate, what's that game? I'm going to tell you a game here. I played the game. So, in 1988, Wimbledon played Liverpool in the FA Cup final. It was a shock to end all shocks. Laurie Sanchez scored from a corner for Wimbledon and Dave Besant saved a penalty and Wimbledon won 1-0. Vinnie Jones should have got 2 red cards in that game for the tackle on Steve McMahon, but it was fine in 1988. So football has changed a lot, and there are tackles that you used to be able to do that you can't do anymore. Whether that makes it better or worse, well, that's up for debate. But there's just certain things you can't get away with anymore. And that's certainly one of them. Gordon put more effort into that tackle than my girlfriend in our relationship, says Jaden. And I think soft red cards are killing the game. Red cards should be for something really special, says Farhad. What like? You know, Anthony Gordon runs up to Van Dijk, kicks him in the nuts, turns him over, does a tombstone on him, and then, you know, pile drives him with a fist. I mean, it's a red card, mate. I think that was a red card. As much as I don't want to see red cards, especially in games with Liverpool in it or Man City in it, that's a red card no matter what game it is. Mismanagement, says S. Newcastle are not paying 200k a week to players, and we all know why. Why are you pretending that's not a factor, says S. Oh, tell us. Tell us more. I mean, Wizard doesn't want £200,000 a week. I don't think Ollie Watkins wants £200,000 a week. I don't think Ekitike's on £200,000 a week. I don't think Šeško's on £200,000 a week. What would you be to say? I've done that one. Thank you very much. 22,000 watching. You're absolute legends. Thank you everybody for tuning in. That's football, the home of watch-alongs. Make sure you subscribe and get involved. Just a big shout out, by the way. We've got exclusive Bundesliga rights on the channel this year. Huge move. Game changers, disruptors, whatever you want to say. Brilliant from the Bundesliga to be getting involved with us. We had Leipzig Bayern Munich live game last Friday. We're live again at 7:30 on Friday. But more importantly, before then, tomorrow afternoon, around 5 o'clock, we've got our first of 34 weekly Bundesliga review shows. All the goals, all the action, in a very unique way. It will be up tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe, first of all, and tune in. It will be going out at about 4:30, and it will have all the goals, like I say. It's England and Ireland only, because it's England and Ireland that we've got the area for. Having said that, I don't know how you did it on Friday, but some of you did still find a way to be able to watch it. So, but yeah, it goes out tomorrow. Thank you very much, Farhad. Do you see a way back into this game for Newcastle? I've seen games where teams are 1-0 down at home with 10 men before. Like, if this was at Anfield, it would be very, very difficult. It's not impossible here. It's not impossible. But it's going to be very, very difficult. There's a few things that could happen here. Newcastle could end up getting beat 4 or 5-0. I thought that was True Geordie on that advert then. It's not. Let's have a look. No, it's not going to show it is now. But I think, look, never say never in football. You don't know. These stories are there to be written, aren't they? But players are coming out for the second half. It's increasingly hard to come back into a game when you're down to 10 men and you haven't got a striker. I think that's the problem. Right. Oh, let me get my timer ready. Got it right on time that time. Right on time. I hate that song. Oh my God. Oh my God. What did I say about Newcastle 4-0? If you've only just coming back in, it's 2-0 to Liverpool. Ekatike, 2-2. Another what is this magician slot doing at Liverpool as well? I mentioned this last week. They must be one of the only clubs in Europe who score consistently with low shots. I've mentioned this before. Someone tell Carragher so he can talk about it on Monday Night Football and claim it. But watch this again. It's another low shot. Watch. They are the masters of the low shot. All their goals go in low. Makes it so hard for the goalkeeper. I mean, it drops perfectly for Ekatike. In off the post as well. You just, Nick Pope can't save these as well. He can't do it. But look, there is something to be said about that. Liverpool's Arneslot missed it. He was having a poo. Well, that blink and you'll miss it there. Bruno Guimaraes gets booked. Wow. MVN says, I'm sorry, but Nick Pope is washed. Oh, Bruno Guimaraes gets booked for dissent because Konate pushes over Harvey Barnes. I mean, to be honest, it is a foul. Why is Bruno Guimaraes getting booked there? He's the captain. What's this referee on with? The captain is allowed to complain to the referee. He's not a random player. Oh, dear me. I mean, look, it's debatable whether it's a foul. I mean, there's a bit of a push there, but I don't agree with Bruno Guimaraes getting booked for that. Rasmus to Newcastle as Wilson, replacements as Matthew. Omar says, I'm sorry for bringing up Man United, but cheers for the positivity on Amorim. I'm so tired of the torches and pitchforks after every result. We bash managers for adapting or for sticking to principles. Make it make sense, says Omar. Thank you. Liquid has triple captain Ekitike. I think Barnes can do better centrally for Newcastle. He was really struggling on the wing, says Ziffo. Let's not forget last year when the Millwall keeper fly kicked Mateta square in the face and they had to debate whether it was a red, says New Era Gaming. That was crazy, that was. Nicholas says, damn, Newcastle really need a striker to put away all these chances. Szoboszlai bossing the right-back position. Love the channel, Mark from South Africa. Thank you very much, mate. How long do you expect it to take for Wirtz to get settled? You can see the talent, but he still looks off the pace. Mango Man, like, I don't know. We've been speaking about this for a long time. I actually heard a pundit talking about it at the weekend, and I thought, fair play. We live in a world now where players have to instantly be a success. There is no patience. Whereas for me, who's slightly older than some of you, I've always worked to the principle that it's the second season where a new signing really has to be settled. The second season, not the second game. Like, Liverpool fans will know that Gravenberch's first season wasn't great. Fabinho's first season wasn't great. I always think that it's season 2 where a new signing has to prove itself. And now it feels like it's game 2, which is just madness, really. But that's society. You know, everything's instantaneous, isn't it? You've got to do it now. And, you know, I don't know whether it's realistic. Good super chat, Mango. Man. With Gordon suspended for 3 games, what now for Newcastle, says Jaden? Well, they need to sign some bloody strikers, don't they? I mean, Harvey Barnes can play off the left and Alanga can play off the right, but they need forwards. S says, what? Everyone you mentioned that didn't join Newcastle is on 200k. That is a determining factor and we all know it. No, they're not. I don't think every player is on. I don't think João Pedro's on 200k a week. I don't think Delap's on 200k a week. I don't think Šeško's on 200k a week, and I don't think Ekitike's on 200 grand a week. Ty says, in fairness, if Gordon could tombstone Van Dijk, that would be more impressive than him scoring a screamer from 30 yards. I could see Van Dijk tombstoning people. I could see Van Dijk in the Undertaker outfit tombstoning people. Yeah, I think Anthony Gordon is more, as a wrestler, he'd be more like, what's his name? Rey Mysterio. More of that build, isn't he? What have Newcastle got to do? Not get another red card. Bruno G could have got a second yellow there. It's almost like he wants one. It's almost like Bruno Guimaraes is chasing a second yellow card here. He's on a yellow. He's got to be very careful. Arsenal fans will be watching this saying, we really don't want to see Liverpool go and win 4 or 5-0 and boost their goal difference. Besides law, you don't expect to go to Newcastle and necessarily win. You definitely don't expect to go to Newcastle and boost your goal difference. Has Salah had a shot yet, says Shully? No, he hasn't. But remember last season he got a goal. Last week he got a goal and assist late on. GGMU says, can you please learn from Ekitike and be clinical? Look, I've said this a couple of times now. Go and look at Liverpool's last few goals. They're all low. Jamie Rubin, you need to sort it out, mate. Striker. That's all you got to think about. Mark, weigh this year's and last year's ball. I don't know whether it's pumped up. No, they're not really pumped up, last year's. No. They're nice balls, though. Mika says, Newcastle and Man United are having similar starts due to not getting the right signings. They're losing points early in the season, and this is what happens. Exactly. Exactly. If you're not ready, piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance. We're on each other's team. What's going on here then? Tonali. I think he's like twisted his arm, hasn't he, or something? Done something to his shoulder? Oh, Newcastle. Well, you're going to get injuries as well, aren't you? Bruno is poison, says Hams. That's a bit far. Sky should show Dermot Gallagher 10 yellow red card offences from last season and make him guess which were which. I wouldn't have a clue, Gino. He'd be confused. If I was Eddie, I'd be phoning Isak and saying you're playing next week. Better get your boots on, says Sonic. If only it was so simple. Long throw in for Newcastle on a long evening. Oh, it's a goal! Wow, Joel Linton. Wow, Bruno Gomes. Or was it Joel Linton? Yes, we've got a game on our hands. And Newcastle are back in it with 10 men. Wow, this is why we love football. This is why we love football. And all from a long throw in. Still a mountain to climb, but they're 50% of the way. Long throw by Livramento. Comes back to Livramento, puts the cross in, and Bruno G gets the jump on Kirkes. And there's not a lot Alisson can do. It's weak by Kirkes, to be honest. Look at that. He's trying to hold him off. That's not how you defend a cross, mate. And Bruno Gomes bullies him. Poor defending by Kirkes. But Bruno Gomes, passion. 2-1. Newcastle back in it. Game on. Surely not. Liverpool fans may say. But this is St James's Park. This has been a feisty one. And Newcastle are not downing tools. Not that they ever would. They're going to have a go now. And it might just get in Liverpool's head a little bit here. What's Newcastle done with their formation after Gordon? Well, it's pretty much the same. You just play with two. You make your wingers tuck in slightly and get closer together. There'll be more goals in this. What was Kirkes doing, says Chris Brown. You can't defend a cross like that. You can't turn your back on it and hide. It's crap defending. Look, he was one of the 2 best left-backs in the Premier League last year with Anthony Robinson at Fulham, but you can't defend like that. Alex Mick says that was United there. Dracula. If you replace Mount and Shaw with DJ Khaled, United will play slightly better, says Rub. Okay. God, excuse me, I had a terrible night's sleep last night. I got woken up by some foxes. I'm not talking about attractive women. I'm talking about actual foxes. Like, they really do make a horrible screechy noise. You'd expect them to bark or something, but it's the most... They've got to be one of the weirdest animals that don't match the sound. Like... Sound like a bloody duck that's trod on a nail. They scream, don't they? Yeah, they're horrible. Horrible noise. 5 o'clock this morning. And then the pigeons start. Oh, God. I hope it... I don't know. I don't know whether it's just a certain time of year pigeons do it. But, oh, God. I just can't be dealing with it. Fox off, says Lee Berman. Lovely stuff there. Rub likes foxes, but he doesn't like polar bears. I know he'd win in a fight. Daniel says, Chelsea fan here. I feel like the problem with United is that Bruno isn't a midfielder. Well, no shit, Sherlock. The money used on Cunha or Mbumo could be used to get a DM. And Jaden says, another problem with Newcastle is the location. If offered the same money, no player wants to live in Newcastle over London or Manchester for them and their family, and that's something money can't fix. Yeah, Jaden, I've only ever been to Newcastle once, so I don't really know what Newcastle's like as a city. I don't know whether you feel isolated or away from everything else. I don't know. I think Tonali's coming off here. He seems to be carrying injuries. I don't know whether this is a new injury. Verts seems to catch one in the face from Verts. If he gets a red for that, it's ridiculously petulant. I don't think it will be reviewed, but let's have a look. No, he's just playing on. Some people in the chat saying it should have been a red. The game's the game. Gifted a membership, thank you. Attenborough Bridge, says Gems. Hope you're doing well. Liveramento's had a good game. I like Liveramento, Samarito. I wonder how old Liveramento is now, because I always feel that he's a younger player, but he's probably about 23, isn't he now? 22. 23 in November. Pravito says, I've had a bad start to FPL. Do I need any wild card, any suggestions? I haven't played it this year, and I actually feel quite happy. I like FPL, but I made the choice not to bother because I'm just so busy with stuff that it would take up time. I like it, though, and if you're playing, good luck, but yeah. SNS says, it looks to me like Tonali might have dislocated his shoulder the way he's holding his arm. Don't think he's dislocated it because he's still on. I'll tell you what, it's a corner for Newcastle. I think Liverpool need to be careful under these high balls. Thanks for your super chat, Clips. Jim wakes up to cockerels. Cockerels, sorry. I don't know why I put a pause in between that. Jim wakes up to cockerels. Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's what she said. Ooh, Trippier. Oh my God. Nearly dropped in. Well, we know what Newcastle's best tactic is. Crosses into the box. And Liverpool looking a bit shaky here. I tell you what, if you slot, you're saying, what is going on here? We're 2-0 up. We've got the extra man. And we're now under pressure at 2-1. And they're going to keep launching these long throws in. It's like Stoke. Get rid of ref cam. They're going over the top with ref cam now. My worry about ref cam is it's going to turn the players into bad Hollyoak actors. They know they're on the camera, so they're going to start, you know, playing up for it. Going to be another throw in here to Newcastle. Shaw wants a penalty. Gakpo on Shaw. I mean, it's not quite Bassey on Mount, but there's certainly a little bit there. Don't think it will get looked at. Game is the game says, do you still do video game streams? Any particular game you're playing at the minute? I haven't played. I sometimes knock GTA 5 on and just go for a drive. I just find it quite... I mean, I could get my real car, but I feel I'm doing something for the environment. Sometimes I just put GTA 5 in and just go for a drive. But no, I'm not playing anything. I'm going to be doing FC 26 though. Nick P. Tonali has gone off for Lewis Miley. Nick P says, do you think you could boost the profile of German football in the UK like Channel 4 did for an Italian football back in the day? That's exactly the plan, Nick. That's the... Well, I don't know whether it's the plan. I don't know whether we'll exploit the plan. But our strategy on That's Football, I was a massive fan of what Channel 4 did for the Italian football in the 90s. And our strategy is very similar. A weekly review show, building stories around teams and players, and then a game a week. And that's exactly what Channel 4 did. And that game a week, you know, you get to see different teams. You get to learn about different cities. I'm going to enjoy it. Really going to enjoy it. Ref cam would be worth it if you could hear the players, says Sifo. Can't you hear the players? All right. I mean, I can't hear the players because it's muted. Lots of people flying around in the box. How's that not a penalty? A few people saying should have been a penalty. Newcastle desperate for just that penalty in the box. Still a long way to go. I mean, surely Liverpool at some point are going to get themselves going. They have got the extra man, but they're not playing well second half, Liverpool. Jem says, my lad's got the bait at FC 26 and the cut-off is to buy the game tonight. I didn't know that. Mike says, when you're up against 10 men, the team typically finds a different gear and it's difficult to defend. I think you just got to use the extra man. I think that's what Liverpool need to do, is just use the extra man. Salah, bad pass, still got it. Wirtz has been awful, says Hapino. is Gakpo. Cuts inside, cross the back post, and that'll go for a goal kick. I mean, Liverpool are still a work in progress, you know. I mean, I do sort of look at that game on Sunday with Arsenal, and I think, look at Man City against Spurs. They are a work in progress. There's so much change there. Look at Liverpool. They've made a lot of changes. They are going to have to take time to adapt. You look at Arsenal. They look the most settled team from last season. I don't know what to go for in Arsenal Liverpool on Sunday. I'm half thinking Arsenal won't lose. I'm thinking a point. And that would be a brilliant start to the season for Arsenal. 7 points from 9 and a draw at Anfield. I think it's going to be a cracking game. Liverpool doesn't look like they can consistently dominate teams. It's now or never for Arsenal, says Senor David. I did predict Arsenal to win the league. And I don't think many people did. I don't know why Liverpool feel like they are going through transition, really, though. Obviously, the tragic circumstances of Jota and Trent left. But they still do look like a team that's, I mean, obviously 2 fullbacks. Robertson's been left out as well, so that's 3. They're a little bit light at centre-back. They've had a bit of disruption in the midfield. I don't think Gravenberch and McAllister have started a game together yet. Where has Salah been? I love it when people start writing Salah off because he'll pop up and score a goal in a minute. United Kitchen says, a lot of happiness for what you achieved with the Bundesliga rights. United Kitchen is a small YouTube channel from Nigeria. Proud of you. Please give us some love. We need it to grow. There you go, United Kitchen. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. Liverpool doesn't look like... we can have done that one from Senor David. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We were very close to 409,000 before. So please do click and subscribe. Thank you. It's not been a very good half from Liverpool. I mean, look, I know when you're 2-0 up, mentally, you might just sort of go through the motions a little bit, but they've actually let Newcastle back into this. Steve says, Arsenal haven't lost to Liverpool in ages. Definitely not about to. Their time is now. Liverpool just slowing the game down a little bit more here with possession. Newcastle had that good 5 minutes of putting long balls into the box and long throw-ins, but Liverpool have just started to use that extra man wisely here. They're slowing the game down, playing it around the back. Just taking the sting out of the game. It's an intelligent way to play. All they want is the 3 points. Yeah, it's nice to boost your goal difference, but they'll just be like, let's close the game down, slow it down, keep them away from our goal, frustrate them. Remember when Simon Jordan called you a bedroom blogger, says Brad. He wouldn't dare say that now, considering how far you've come. You're more successful than him. I mean, I don't know about that. Simon Jordan's pretty successful as a businessman. I mean, he did own a football club. Poor pass by Ekatike there. Joe Linton's gone down injured now. He's not the sort of player to stay down. And looks very innocuous, actually. don't know what he did. Was it his supporting leg? Let's have a look. Left leg. Yeah, he seems to be clutching his hamstring a little bit there. Bloody nightmare for Eddie Howe, this, isn't it? Anthony Gordon, 3-game ban. Tonali seems to have done something to his shoulder. Joel Linton is crying. Or he's in a lot of pain anyway. Is it a dead leg, says Tanish? Could be. I mean, Newcastle fans don't need me to tell them that they haven't got the squad to deal with this sort of carnage. And they've got Champions League football. Talking about the Bundesliga, Ekatike coming in from Frankfurt. Same place as Mamouche. What a team. And they look good again. A couple of youngsters in that team. 19-year-old Uzan, I think he's Turkish, scored an absolute banger at the weekend. They won 4-1. There'll be a conveyor belt of clubs looking at some of these players. Joel Linton's on his feet, which is good. Jacob Ramsey and Lewis Hall warming up. I like Jacob Ramsey. I mean, look, Villa looks like a bad injury. Well, he's walking off. And he's not happy, is he? The trouble is, he clearly knows something's up. Is he going straight down the tunnel? Yeah. Yeah, I like Jacob Ramsey. I think Villa probably did it because they need the money, but yeah, I think it's a bit of a shame. 29 years of age, Joel Linton. Has he ever had a Brazilian cap? 7. Mitesh says, remember when I said Bruno G is a dream signing? Oh, you'd love Bruno G. I think most clubs would like Bruno Guimaraes, even if you had him in your squad. I don't know why everyone's so certain about how good teams are. It's game 2 across a 38-game season, says Mason. Exactly. Enrique gets rid of Donnarumma because he's not great on the ball, yet Pep wants to signing him according to reports. Make it make sense. I've heard so many people say that. The game is game. Yeah. Looks like it could be a groin tear. The fine margins of football are incredible, aren't they? I mean, you're playing a game of football, you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying the challenge. You go for a 50-50 and then you're probably out for a month. It's... Loco thinks it might be a groin tear. I mean, it's been a nightmare for Newcastle, this game. They just don't have the squad for it. Oh, overlaps here. There's runners all over the place. Curtis Jones still going. And Jacob Ramsey's covered it off. Anton says emotion got the better of them. There's another injury here to Shaw. And what's going on with Newcastle? This is just... They're cursed at the moment. Well, hopefully this isn't a bad one. Newcastle cooking in Liverpool with 10 men. S says, remember when I said Bruno G's a dream sign him, says Mitesh. I don't know why I've done that from Mason, and the game's got done that one as well. Thank you very much for all your super chats, by the way, tonight. Appreciate it. They've not shown a replay of this, so it looks like it's a head injury. They're moving him around with the neck. Supporting the neck. I've done all this in medical training myself. Support the neck and the spine in case there is any damage there. Chiesa looks like he's coming on. Is that Connor Bradley at the back as well? Yeah. He's all right, Shaw. Definitely got a head injury. Probably get the replay in a minute. Here we go. There's Shaw. Up he goes. Yeah, he just jumps into the bottom of Van Dijk's arm. Probably catches his elbow as he jumps up. Do you think Liverpool would be winning this against 11 men? I don't. Riverdance. I don't know. I think if Newcastle had had a striker, I look back to the 3 crosses from Elanga and go, I'd have fancied a striker to get in the end of that. I mean, look, if you come into a season not ready, you can't moan if you don't perform. Like, I don't think Newcastle are prepared for the start of this season. Comparable to, you're playing teams that are prepared. I tell you what, they've got a tough game on Saturday as well. They've got to go to Leeds. Well, Elanga's been a lot quieter in the second half, Woodward's credit card. Ekatike's come off here, and so has Wirtz. Shah's going to play on. Be a bit of added time here. Could be another. Well, we've hit 80 minutes here, but there could be another 10 on top of that. Novella says, Liverpool looking subpar here. The Gunners are going to decimate them. They've been poor second half, Liverpool. And they had about 20 minutes against Bournemouth where they were poor as well. And I think if I was Slot, I'd be sending those subs on. And I'd be telling them to give everybody a kick up the arse. I would not be happy. Sell Wirtz to Bayern, says Marco. He's got a big price tag against his name, Wirtz, actually, to be fair. I suppose that's why you're always going to have a target on you. But, you can have a target on your back. I mean, this is the same old shit again, isn't it? If Liverpool, if it stays like this, Liverpool have got 6 points from 6. And, you're splitting hairs, really. Oh, Wirtz is a flop. 6 points from 6. Surely that's what matters. Szoboszlai's gone back into the midfield now with Barkley at right back. Newcastle, clearly the better team. It took a summer of propaganda to slow them down, says S. What do you think about refs announcing the VAR decision, says Soccer? I think it's probably helpful if you're in the ground. I mean, we don't really need it because we're watching it on TV, aren't we? But Mitesh says, do you think Lamens is ready to be Man United's keeper? I'd give it a go over what we've got. Time for a stretch. I wouldn't rule Newcastle out of this, I still think there's an opportunity. And I think if this was, look, I mean, it's a big if. I don't think United would ever be in a position like this anytime soon. But I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you'd be a little bit pissed off with the second half. Like, you know, why have we made it so hard for ourselves? Connor Bradley. What did I call him? Ross Barkley. I've called him Niles. I've called him Niles Barkley before. I remember when I broke my heart. Oh, yes I did. I'm a bit crazy. Gone way too high there. Bruno G, good running again. Good feet by Alanga. Switch, switch, switch. Loads of space for Lewis Hall. Ramsey's still got it though. Really carried the ball there. I think Ramsey could do well at Newcastle. That's going to go out for a throw. Liverpool have only had 4 shots altogether. Newcastle have had 8. Robbo96 says, I need to find myself a woman who embraces me the way Mark does his chair. And Tom Grant says, all these Rashford videos and winning team photos are making me boff. Is Bruno G better than Bruno F? Poll, please. I'll do a poll for you, yeah? What Rashford videos are we talking about? I don't see him. Bruno F versus Bruno G. I mean, that's a bit of an unfair thing because Bruno F popularity rating at the moment is in the basement. So with Rasmus going out on loan, is Jamie Vardy still available, says Sam. I'm surprised Vardy hasn't got a club yet. Maybe he's waiting for Madrid. I don't look at the league table until game 3. I don't look at the league table until game 3. I just don't see the point. Right, Liverpool got a bit of space here. Connor Bradley. Going to use Salah in the box. Back to Bradley. Terrible touch. And Bruno Guimaraes battles his way through. And wins a free kick. And that's a bit of a soft yellow card again. He's only just come on the pitch. Not the best refereeing performance, if I'm being honest. Seemed a little bit soft, but maybe the referee's looking for a to level things up. It certainly helped Newcastle if he did. Four minutes, well, nearly 3 minutes left. There will be quite a considerable bit of stoppage time. And they've got it! 2-2! Wow! Wow! He's gone and done it. Osler, however you pronounce his name. Liverpool will be kicking themselves. Newcastle are level from 2-0 down and 1 man down to 2-2. This is the story of the weekend. How have Newcastle done this? Asula gets on the end of a long ball. Liverpool's defence is absolutely shocking tonight. Incredible stuff. I literally said this at half-time. Somebody said, can they get back into this? I said it's going to be bloody difficult, but when you're at home, you never quite know. And it's absolutely shocking defending. It really is. It's just a long ball, a little flick from Dan Burn, and Osler gets on the end of it, and Liverpool will be kicking themselves here. Absolutely kicking themselves. But Newcastle, well, they'll be in Toonland. They'll be absolutely ecstatic. Somebody said there might be an offside there. I can't see an offside. I can't see how it would be offside. It comes off the back of Konate. Well, I hope Liverpool don't go and get a winner now, because that would be absolutely unfair in the circumstances for that to happen. Incredible. Incredible from Newcastle. Incredible. And this is why we love football, because you just don't know. Liverpool make it 2-0 within the first minute of the second half against 10 men, and you think, well, that's that. And then here we are, heading towards stoppage time, and it's 2-2. And it's, to be honest, it's only what Newcastle deserve. Liverpool have been absolutely terrible second half. They've created nothing. I don't really understand why they haven't created anything. I don't know where the rhythm and motivation has gone at all. I mean, you're playing with one man less, and here's Elanga now. I mean, we could be in for something historical here. A corner to Newcastle. How are they doing this? They loaned out the wrong centre-back, says I know. Slotty's getting found out, says Novella. Mo Salah winner incoming in 4 minutes. Calm down, says Rub. S says you should be ashamed to compare Bruno G to the other one. Welcome to That's Football. Welcome to football, actually. I mean, welcome to That's Football. You're very welcome. Please do subscribe, get involved. But welcome to football. You just never know, do you? This Premier League season, this Premier League weekend, Man City dropping points at home. Liverpool 2-0 up and dropping 2 points as well. 11 minutes added on. If you're a Newcastle fan, you suddenly don't want added minutes. Or do you? That is a lot of minutes. But it's Newcastle on the attack with the corner. Van Dijk heads it away. Eddie Howe will be thinking, do I want the final whistle or not? Elanga is rapid, you're right, Scott. That's another long throw in. Look, it's been direct from Newcastle, but it's worked. It's caused Liverpool problems. Not many teams play like this. That's another chance to launch a throw in. And they're going to launch it in again. Livramento with the throw. Big one. Dan Burn flicks it. Ooh, Alisson just gets his fist there. But it's Newcastle to every ball at the moment. And it's a corner to Newcastle. It's all Newcastle. It's all Newcastle at the moment. Another corner. Get it on Dan Burns' head. Liverpool will be more nervous than Newcastle, and they've got the extra man headed away. Edge of the box. Have a shot. Blocked. Second ball. Newcastle again. Dan Burn gets up to it. Second ball. Salah can only just boot it away. It's like Liverpool have got the 10 men. Little dink. That's going to go for a throw-in. S said, I've said it from the start, Newcastle are class. St James's Park is a cauldron, says Alan. Well, this is a bottle job from Liverpool. That's the title for the match reaction. Liverpool bottle it against Newcastle. All credit to Newcastle, but when you're 2-0 up against 10 men and you don't win, that's a bottle job. We can praise Newcastle, but we must also, you know, question Liverpool. And remember, second week in a row, they've given up a 2-0 lead. Bournemouth, 2-0 to 2-2. And it's all Newcastle. Newcastle could win this game. I'm confused by this. I'm sure Liverpool fans are confused as well. I'm confused how a team with 10 men is dominating the shit out of a team with 11 players. It is incredible to watch. It's corner after corner. It's chance after chance. And it's 11 against 10. Incredible stuff. They're very sloppy, says Ted, Liverpool. Arsenal will be very encouraged by this. Of course, they go to Anfield on Sunday. We'll be live for that. TJ says Alanga's been balling second half. Van Dijk wins the header again. Kirkes fouled. I think Liverpool at this point are probably thinking, let's take a point. There's a few I tell you what, there's a few there's a few weaknesses in that Liverpool team. I thought Kirkes last season was fantastic. Harvey Elliott and Rio coming on, Curtis Jones coming off, and Gakpo coming off. I mean, it's just in the hope that they can do something. But I think Kirkes has struggled the first couple of weeks. He's a brilliant player. We saw that at Bournemouth, but he's struggling to settle in. He was definitely at fault for the first equaliser. And well, it's Liverpool now on a rare adventure forward. And Newcastle are going to win this back again. Dan Burn clears it. It's been a cracking game. It's been a really good game. And I didn't think it was going to go this way when Ekitike made it 2-0 in the first minute of the second half. But to Newcastle's eternal credit. And remember, they've lost Joel Linton, Tonali, and obviously the red card. Which is, you know, to their credit massively. It would be an injustice if Liverpool were to get a winner here. But football doesn't always follow fairness. And Liverpool just need to be careful. Very, very quiet game for Salah. And there'll be a bit of pressure on Liverpool going into that Arsenal game on Sunday now. Maybe it will be a point, 5 from 9, as things stand. If it's worse, 4 from 9. Could be on the same as United if we beat Burnley. Lewis Hall's done very well there against Salah. Wins a goal kick. We didn't get a Liverpool in crisis video last season. This is an opportunity. It's not quite a crisis if they draw, mate. I mean, I'd love to do one. Let's see if Newcastle can get a winner. Constantine says a Newcastle third is in the air. And Newcastle without Isak, better than Newcastle with Isak on the bench, says S. Newcastle have turned into Stoke. Look, do you see... I think that Newcastle have played very much Pulis ball. The long throw-ins, the direct balls. But when you're down to 10 men against the champions, you've got to adapt. And he has got players that are physical and will run. And it's worked. $25,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget our Bundesliga review show with all the goals will be out tomorrow, 5 o'clock on the UK time. Getting ready for that. Can't wait to show it you. But are we about to get a twist? There's still 2 minutes to go. I think we're probably going to end up 2-2 now. Liverpool in possession. Newcastle aren't going to give this up. They've worked so hard to get back. Pass selection by Liverpool has been really poor. Their inability to utilise the extra man has been abysmal, really. I mean, look at these stats. This is the thing that's going to jump out at you. Look at that. 10 shots to 4 in Newcastle's favour. And most of those have come with 10 men. And look at how, I mean, it's uncharacteristic from Liverpool just how slow they've been. Oh my God. I fucking don't believe it. I don't fucking believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe it. I've literally just been talking about how Liverpool don't use the extra man. And they've used the extra man. I can't believe it. That is just not deserved, is it? That's not deserved. I can't believe it. I mean, it's the one time they've... I mean, it's a brilliant goal. I mean, I can't argue with it. It's brilliant. Szoboszlai with the step over dummy. But the one time in 50 minutes they've played a good passing move, and it's that Rio kid who scored it. Oh, it's heartbreak. It's absolute heartbreak for Newcastle. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because football's just not fair. It's not fair, is it? You know. Wow. I mean, look, Liverpool should have done this at 2-0. They should have put them to bed. But I feel Newcastle's pain. I mean, what more can they do? They've literally switched off for the last 60 seconds of a huge effort. And it's going to be a last throw of the dice for Newcastle to put a ball in. Szoboszlai has had a very good game. My man of the match, Sifo. Well, Liverpool's man of the match. I don't know about Newcastle's man of the match. I mean, I think they've put such a great bit of work in. Can they get what I think is a justified equaliser here? One big launch ball into the box. Nick Pope's up there as well. He's got too much on it. Alisson's going to get hold of that. No, he doesn't, but it's a corner, and it will be a corner. All that effort for what? Well, you know, Newcastle can take a lot from this, but ultimately it's a bit like when Man United lost to Arsenal last week. You don't win, do you? And ultimately, Liverpool have got 6 points from 6 when they've lost 2-0 leads twice. What does that say? They might not be good defensively, but they've got the factor. Van Dijk wins another header. How many headers has Van Dijk won in the last 10 minutes, by the way? Yeah, you talk about Liverpool's defence not being very good, but Van Dijk has won an immense amount of headers in the last 10 minutes. It's all kicking off a little bit here. Bruno G, obviously, very passionate player. We'd all like him in our shirts. Newcastle, very lucky to have him, but he'll be pissed off. I think Rio might be 16, judging by the chat. I've seen a lot of his 16. Please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we've got our Bundesliga highlights show tomorrow. It's going to be a banger. The final whistle goes. It's been a cracking game of football. I just think sometimes it doesn't serve up what's deserved. I think Liverpool will be very, very happy with that. 6 from 6. They were shocking in the second half. They were really bad. But the second it goes to 2-2, they go and produce a brilliant bit of play to win it. 2-0 down with 10 men against the best team in England, and they get back to 2-2 and lose it in the last minute. Wow. I don't know how I'm going to pluck a match reaction out of this, but I will. I'll record it now. I've got no idea. I had Liverpool bottling it. Now I've got Liverpool winning it. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget, the Bundesliga highlight show tomorrow is going to be great. Get ready for that. We've also got the transfer show in the morning, so lots to get involved in on That's Football as usual. Final week of the transfer window. Where will Isak end up now? Still a bit of arguing at the end. You can sense a bit of injustice there for Newcastle, but ultimately, it is what it is. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Absolute legends tonight. Really enjoyed it. And I will speak to you all soon. Take care. I'll get a match reaction up for you shortly.